everyone! So again, I'm teacher Cora. I'm so excited to be talking you through how to create book reports for our basic 7th and 8th grade literacy classes in celebration of World Book Day. So World Book Day is a very exciting holiday happening on Thursday, April 23rd across the world. The reason why we wanted to celebrate this at Abarso, besides the fact that obviously we love reading, I've been doing a lot of reading as you guys are not at school and we are in quarantine, but reading is a great way to improve your brain. It increases your vocabulary depending on how much you read, even by hundreds of thousands of words a year. Reading also helps give you a lot of imagination, helps you practice your memory. It also can help relax you and relieve stress while you're at home. So basically, we at Abarso love reading. We really want you to be reading a lot whenever you're not at school. And so hopefully talking about book reports or book reviews, as James G is doing for the more advanced classes, will be a great way to do that. Okay? So why book reports? So, have you ever wanted to tell a friend about a book that you are reading? Or what about your mom or dad? How do you know which parts to share with them? What about the characters? How did you choose which elements would be the most fun or exciting? So sometimes we read fun books, we read interesting stories, you want to share them with someone else. But sometimes you don't always exactly know how to do that. So a book report is an easy way to summarize key information about a book and also share your thoughts and opinions on it. So that's kind of why book reports, they're a helpful way to do. So my 7th graders already got a little bit of practice for this in our literacy class, but hopefully today we're going to go through it a little bit more in detail, okay? So for your do now, what I want for you to do is go ahead and go find a book that you were assigned as reading homework in one of your English classes. So I talked to all of your 7th and 8th grade English teachers, and I know you were all assigned books, so we're going to be using them a little bit later on, okay? Now, if you can't find your book, that is okay, because I have great news for you. We have actually been able to find this amazing website that, due to the virus spreading, has actually allowed free access for students. It's called Epic Books. So this is an amazing online website that has access to over 30,000 free children's books. Okay, so I went ahead and put a full description below, a full page that'll walk you through exactly how to sign up for this. But basically, it's a great way for you to read books at home, to check out all of these different types. You can click on the student tab once you go on Epic Books and just put in our class code and sign up. So like I said, I put a full tutorial below. Feel free to reach out to me or at the Abarso email if you're having any trouble signing up. Okay? So like I said, reading is going to be one of the best ways for you to stay engaged and still stay learning while you're at home. So I would definitely recommend that you check out Epic Books in order to get a lot of good practice reading for fun while you're at home. Okay? So let's go ahead. Hopefully now you have a book, either your book that you were assigned for English class or one from Epic Books Online that you can use as practice. But for us today, we're actually going to be going through and making a book report as a practice using the book that James G used as an example last week. So this is a book that you've all read, you all have access to. If you didn't have a chance to watch James G's video yet, that's okay. There's a link below, so you can just click on that and then read the whole book together. Okay, so the book we're going to be talking about is Where the Wild Things Are, and I'm going to go ahead and walk you through how you would create a book report using this book, and then you can go ahead and try it for yourself. Okay, so first, whenever you start off with a book report, you're going to want to start out with some basic things that we're going to go through one by one. All right, so first, when you start out with a book report, you'd maybe say things like, "Hello, my name is Cora, and today I'm going to be talking about Where the Wild Things Are." So first you start out with the title. So what is the name of the book that you're talking about? Very important basic stuff. And also the author. So who wrote the book? If we click here, we can see just on the front, Story and Pictures by Maurice Sendak. All right, so here we already went ahead and got started with our title, our author, basic information that your listener needs to know. Okay, So then we will move on to other things such as setting. So where does the story take place? So in this book, if we look at the picture, and James G walked us through this last week, we can actually see that the setting of the story is on a magical island. Right? So this island has really tall trees, has some water, and also some monsters. Okay, so an imaginary island with tropical trees and giant monsters. That's our setting. Okay? Then we will move on to characters. So who are the people in the story? This is very important for your listeners. That way you can give them a little bit more information in the book. Okay, so the people in the story we could say are Max. So Max is the main character, and also Max's mom, and also probably the monsters on the island, right? So the main people in the story, Max, Max's mom, and the monsters. We also want to go ahead and talk about the main or most important character. So who is the main person that we're talking about throughout the story? And when you're giving a book report, you don't only want to say their name, but also to describe them a little bit more, right? So maybe what is he or she like? What kind of person is he or she? Okay, so in this story we could say Max is the main character. Max is a boy, probably a young boy, maybe like 7 or 8 years old, a little bit mischievous, right? Okay, so far we have title, author, setting, characters. Next, we'll go ahead and talk about plot. So plot is what is happening in our book. So if you say what was happening at the beginning of the book, what was happening at the end, and also we'll go ahead and break down the middle, so all the other things. So if we're using James G as an example, we could say first, whenever we started out the story, Max is making mischief at home, right? He told his mother that he was going to eat her all up. He vandalized the wall, all kinds of things. Crazy stuff, right? And at the end of the book, Max returned home from the island, and then he found his dinner waiting there for him at home. So the beginning, the end, both very, very important. We can go ahead and fill in what happened in the middle. These are our main plot points. So the things that are important happening in the middle of the book, I would recommend you choose maybe 4 or 5 of these, the most important ones. So we could say after the beginning, when Max was making mischief at home, what happened was his mother sent him to his room, right? She said, no supper, you are going to your room. Then what happened was a forest started to grow in Max's room, and then Max saw a boat, right? So he saw a forest starting to grow, he saw some water, he saw a boat. Then Max went on an adventure sailing on this boat to an island. On the island, he met a bunch of monsters. They made him their king. They had a giant rumpus or party, and then Max sent them to bed with no food as well. And then he sailed home because he missed his mother. So all in all, a plot is what is happening in the book. So whenever you're summarizing for a parent or a family member, you don't want to tell them everything. It might be too long and boring. Just want to talk about the most important things that are happening in the book, the plot points. So this is for our 7th graders. For 8th graders, unfortunately, you're going to have a little bit more difficult. You have to know all the plot diagram elements. So these are things like exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. So if you want a little bit of refresher course on this, especially for competencies that you will be tested on, I would go recommend that you check out Niall's video for this week, in which he breaks them down for you a lot more specifically. Okay? Alright, and almost getting towards the end, we have our theme. So what was the point of the book? Why did the author write this book? What are we supposed to learn from here? So theme is a great time for you to use your imagination when you are thinking about kind of the reasoning for the book. Alright, so here I think there are some good ideas that you could use. Maybe one possible theme is exploration. So Max was very creative. He wanted to go explore new and different areas, meet new people, have adventures. So maybe one thing is like imagination and exploration. Maybe another theme, another point of the book is maybe something having to do with love. So Max's mother was upset at him at the beginning of the book because he was making mischief. But even despite all of that, she still made supper for him whenever he got home. Also Max, he also ran away from home, right, to this magical island, and he met all of these monsters. He had all of these adventures. And at the end of the day, he just wanted to go home because he missed his mother. All right, so maybe theme you can think a little bit more, but try to understand why the author wanted to share this book with you. What gave them the idea in the first place? What are we supposed to learn? Okay? All right, and with the book report, now that we've summarized all of the important facts, you want to go ahead and share your opinions. So these are things like, I really liked when, I didn't like when, or I wonder. So maybe you could say, I really liked when Max first started to sail in his boat across the sea to the island. Or I didn't like when Max sent all the monsters to bed with no supper. That was kind of mean of him, right? Or I wonder, maybe you say, I wonder if the island was really true after all, or maybe Max had just made it up in his head. Okay, so we went ahead and went through all of the summary before, and now we're giving our opinion. Okay? And last, we're going to think about your recommendation. So would you recommend this book to a friend to read? What did you think about the book? So did you like the book? Did you not like the book? Do you think it was interesting? What kind of people should read this book? Maybe is it young children? Is it older children? For me, I would definitely say Where the Wild Things Are is a great book for students to read. I think it's really, really fun, has great pictures. I think reading about monsters sometimes can be kind of interesting, so I think I would definitely recommend this book to a friend or one of my students to read. Okay, so once we have all of this information that we just went through in our example, title, author, setting, characters, plot, theme, your opinion, and your recommendation, we can put it all together and present your own book report. Okay, so if I was doing my book report on Where the Wild Things Are, at this point I would have written down all of this stuff. I would have had all of the information I need to make one. So for you, what we want you to do is for your homework, take your own book at home that you have. So again, this can be either your English book for one of your classes or one of the epic books online. Write out all of these important parts. So the title, characters, plot, opinion, all of them. And you can go ahead and rewind the video if you need to at any point, just to give you, if you need a quick reminder on this. And then show your book report to one person in your family to share about your book. So find a good book that you like, tell your family all about it. And remember, always be confident, clear, and loud when you're doing presenting. Remember, you don't want to be like a robot. If you're giving your book report to your little sister and maybe she is like 10 years old, she's not going to want to listen to you talk for a very long time if it's very boring and you sound like a robot, okay? So remember, be confident, clear, loud, and also interesting. And just like we did in class for my 7th graders whenever we made our own book reports, it's always good to include a picture. So if I was going to draw a picture to go ahead and go with my book report, maybe I would draw this one where Max is in his bedroom and the trees first start to grow. So I could say, hello, here is my book. This is one part in our plot. Whenever the trees started to grow in Max's bedroom, it was very interesting because of this. Okay, so I hope that this is a really, really good practice for you in terms of writing your book report. I hope this is really good reading practice. What we would love for you is, since it is World Book Day, we would love if you wanted to send us a photo of you reading at home, either in English or even writing your book report or presenting to your parents, your sisters, or like your grandparents, anyone at home, just to motivate and inspire others on World Book Day. So anyway, happy book reports, happy World Book Day, happy reading. We miss you a lot and we are so excited to see you soon. Thank you guys. Bye.